Hold on.
Hey, this is Jones from the grounds with Giles, Jones, and Slagle. You catch us every Friday morning. Thanks to the support of our good friends over at Natural Therapy Wellness Center. Check them out at www.henrymassage.com and our good friends over at JH Events and Flowers. $5 bundles on Friday are kicking. When you got nothing else to do, to the ground.
It was good. It was a good. It was a good spot.
I'm on a nice spot out in the wilderness. Is great. Here's Uncle Pete, everybody. If you want to be part of this fantastic show here, the grounds with Giles, he's under the weather, not feeling well. It's going around. A lot of people got some stuff.
I thought I did too this week.
Yeah,
I was fine though.
there you go.
Being all right.
Well, you look like shit.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
Giles isn't here, but as I just said, thanks to our good friends over at Natural Therapy Wellness Center and over at JH Events and Flowers. Can't do it without you guys. Absolutely love you. You want to be part of this great show? There's Uncle Pete. Just copy that URL, throw it into your URL. Maybe it's a web address. I don't know. Anyway, copy that link, throw it in there, and come in and let's talk about how many years have to pass, Steve, before we accept the truth. And here's Don. Don says, good morning.
Uno bomber.
Una bomber. Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, that was out in the woods. Yeah. Let's see. Wow. Yeah. That's a little shot. Like my eyes were, I couldn't even keep my eyes open. That was in the morning, I think.
It looked like the morning.
That's good stuff, though. But here we are, sitting just outside the city this morning. We did bring our table and our microphones, but just sitting outside the city.
Yeah.
And you and I wanted to talk about how many years have to pass before we accept the truth.
Yeah.
We're coming off the heels of the 9/11 incident.
Yep.
Famously, I don't know, famously called the 9/11 incident, where there were some zoomies that hit some buildings.
Yep. About 23 years ago.
About 23 years ago. Just don't mail me anything. Yeah. It'll be in a brown box for sure. So you and I have talked about this on occasion. That's probably why Scott does, even though he has questioned everything.
Yeah.
I love the guy. Get better, Scotty. There's a line in a movie that it goes something like this. You don't want the truth. You can't handle the truth, right? Or the truth. You don't want the truth, right? You can't handle the truth. Could Americans handle the truth? And what would happen if the truth allegedly came out?
Assuming the truth is anything but what they've said it is, it's going to cause a big issue. I mean, obviously, if they came out and said it. I think a lot of people suspect, specifically when it comes to stuff like 9/11, other what are commonly referred to as conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy.
And then over time, people can't hide it forever. People open their mouths. Like, look at Bush. We talk about this all the time. How many interviews does he do where he just keeps dropping comment after comment where you're like, wait, you want to elaborate on that for us? Why don't you give us some more names there, bud? And then, that's it,
That's it. Like little Easter eggs.
But I personally have always, thought that there was something fishy.
Yeah.
And I think as time goes on, more and more people lean toward that side as more information becomes available, or just the longer time goes on.
I think that in thinking about this, I think that Hollywood has the inside track on a lot of things, or people give scripts or whatever, right? And they leak just enough information, but then you go, yeah, it was just a movie.
Yeah.
Right? But you're like, but
creative license.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And I'm a guy. I am absolutely fascinated with the JFK assassination. Right.
Yep.
Absolutely. And I mean, I've been down there. I mean, they got X's on the streets.
Yeah.
You know, this is where this happened. This is where this happened. I've stood in the grassy knoll to try to feel the energy there. You know, I went up into the depository, a floor above where he shot, same corner. And I was like, I don't know. If I was doing this, I would have taken the shot here instead of here. Right?
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, how do you think that's changed over time? The view of that from not just your perspective, other people over time. I mean, what do you think has changed?
You know, well, here's the amazing thing. Is maybe what hasn't changed.
Okay.
With all the forensics, with all the cold cases, with everything that we have now.
Yeah.
Right? Why haven't we dug deeper?
Right.
Right?
Where's all that hard evidence?
Where's all the hard evidence?
Yeah.
Right? Come on.
Well, then, the question becomes that why do we believe things so right off the bat, immediately?
Yeah.
Everything that we're told, Ben, we believe it right off the bat. We accept it.
Yeah.
We take it as truth. And then just like you said, Hollywood makes a movie about it. And then there it is. That's how it was for the rest of the time.
Yeah. Well, and real easy to spin, right? To put the spin out there. Real easy to put the spin out there. If you don't have accessibility to everything that we have today.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the 60s, it was Cronkite at 6 p.m. and he was off at 6:30, and then you waited to read something in the paper. I mean, those were your two go-tos.
Yeah, you had to find out more, wait till the next day. Yeah.
Right.
Early edition.
Right. And then we had what's called the Encyclopedia Britannica, who, I don't know who wrote that, but if it was in there, it was gospel.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the way it was. I'm quoting from Encyclopedia Britannica. What does Shayna say here? Oh, wait. Well, let's go up to Don first.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Today, what's the difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth? About 45 days.
So Don's supposition is that it takes about 45 days.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
Man, what's happening, bro? The good old days.
How you doing?
Of course, Matt from Life's a Breeze with Matt and Steve.
Life is a breeze.
Shayna says, the first time I saw Seeker bullets in a movie, I said, could you imagine? Yikes. Those scripts are glimpses of things to come. Yeah. That's what I'm saying is, if you want to talk about, the deep state, I think that they run Hollywood. They leak out, I think, the truth enough that we go, yeah, that was a great movie. Oh, you saw that in a movie.
Yeah.
You saw that. It's a movie.
Right. Well, and if the truth is intriguing enough, it's always like, that's the plot to a movie. And it's like,
right.
It's what it's based off of.
It's what it's made off, right. But, so now JFK is just one, right?
Right, of course, yeah.
I think we can see things and go, well, Mrs. Kennedy wasn't jumping on the trunk to go, help me. She was jumping on the trunk to go, oh my God, there's a piece of his head. Now, you get shot from the back.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Your brain's not going backwards.
Right. It's going.
Right.
Well, yeah, it'll go everywhere.
Now the other is I saw him shoot into gelatin that had the consistency of human flesh.
Yeah.
Right? Have you seen this?
I have, yeah.
And your natural reaction is to go to where the pierce is.
Yeah.
Right? And he goes down, goes forward, not backwards.
So, second shooter.
Well, yeah,
or other angle, or
and I don't even know if Oswald even pulled the trigger. He set up and then. Whoop, whoop.
Well, and so here's something interesting. Shayna really wants to know about Civil War.
I didn't,
unless it's Captain America. I didn't see it.
I didn't.
But something interesting is that right off the bat, Don called you the Unabomber, right?
Right.
Ted Kaczynski.
Ted.
Now, do you know a lot about Ted Kaczynski's story?
He's a brilliant man.
Brilliant man with a rock solid alibi
Yeah.
for the day in question. Now, there's a lot that goes into this. Like, and the more you look into it, the more sketchy it becomes. And then it's not unreasonable. I want to preface all of that by saying, conspiracy theories are called conspiracy theories to discredit them, and because people do take them too far. But then there are actual documents that are released, and this happens all the time. You remember WikiLeaks?
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the things that people didn't read in WikiLeaks was the president's signature on the form where it was basically calling for the Black Flag operation that led us into the Korean War. An attack on our own naval base. So America attacked our own naval base and then blamed the Koreans and went to war. That document was released. Nobody talks about it. Because how long ago was it? Who cares anymore?
Right.
Like, I thought it was interesting, but I haven't heard people discussing it. But like, that's a major thing. Yeah. And we have proof that happened.
I mean, but if we can't talk about it because then that debunks the entire MASH series. I apologize.
Those doctors save lives. I don't care who they are.
So Shane, Don says, what would be the impact if we learned today the CIA did kill Kennedy? I really don't know what impact it would have.
That's a great question. Because enough time has passed. Like, they could just come out and say we did it. Wouldn't be good for them, but in this day and age, what's anybody? Yeah, what really would happen?
Right. And thank you for that, Shane. I had lost where I put that. I will get that book, Dr. Mary's Monkey. I think we were talking about that, and then Pete passed away, and I kind of lost track.
Okay.
But thank you for that. I will, because I'm just fascinated by it, as I'm fascinated by the moon landing, which we've been up there several. Never mind. Allegedly.
Gonna sprinkle that on there.
Yeah, sprinkle it on there. So to Don's question, here's a way that I would put that. In today's, how do I want to say that? Here in America.
Yeah.
Here in America. In today's, America's already divided, right? So I don't think anything would happen, right? Because it's so many years later. Half of us would be I knew it.
Yeah.
And half of us would be like,
we'd be sitting here talking about it on the grounds, like, hey, did you hear they admitted it? Yeah.
Right.
Moving on,
right? Just like, and we won't go political, but is the debate. Some people go, my gal won, and some guy goes, my guy won.
Yep.
And all you hear is what you want to hear, right? And I think that's what happens now. How many years have it's been so long?
Yeah.
Right. If this came out in '68 and the CIA said, "Yeah, we took him out," whole different thing.
Oh, it would have been.
And then they go, hey, just even the score, we took out Dr. King too. Right. Allegedly.
Yeah. Allegedly.
You know what I'm saying? That might be different.
Yeah.
Right. But now, so many years, people go, yeah. Well, in 60 years ago, right? Yeah.
And then I think about like during COVID and all the things when they were trying to just distract us by releasing information. The CIA released all those declassified documents about extraterrestrial involvement, right? They didn't prove any aliens existed, but they declassified their documents on the possibility of aliens existing. And the whole internet was like, "Oh my God, look at this!" And it was like, "Hey, why don't we keep paying attention to what's happening in the world right now?" That's a very obvious distraction. Well, I feel like that's something they would do. They'd be like, "All right, well, everybody's paying way too much attention to what the government's doing right now. Hey, guess what? In the '60s, they killed JFK. That wasn't us. That was them. Like, it's a different time now. I'm just letting you know. Yeah, but you know what? You should look into that instead of paying attention now. I do feel like that's something.
That's like Area 51.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Shana says, the thing about finding an infestation in one part of the house, you should probably check the whole house. How many 3-letter agencies are and corporations? It's not just wars we proxy. That's correct.
Yep.
That's correct.
What did you say Area 51 was? You made a joke.
Right. So, not necessarily a joke.
Well, but you said Area 51 was for, what was it?
Right. So, Area 51 is out there in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
And we think that there are a lot of alien
Yeah.
stuff out there. However, what if Area 51 is the backdrop of the alleged moon landing?
That's right, yeah. So
Now, I don't want you out there. We'll say it's alien stuff. Can't come out here. Nobody come out. We can't go to Area 51 because somebody will be like, hey, wait, I know this.
yeah.
Wait, this looks, oh my God.
I did basic training at that Air Force Base.
Oh my goodness. And, right?
Right.
And because if we had technology to throw somebody up there in 1969,
yeah,
that's all, right? And here we are in 2024, and we've had.
Oh, but see, we didn't have the lights. The lights.
That's right.
Yeah, the lights. They burned too hot. They would have set everything on fire. They wouldn't have been. If you look at the shadows, you can tell it's real. That's the number one piece of evidence that I've heard. Yeah.
And all the dust on the feet of the lunar module that landed. Oh, that's California, she says. That's in California. Could be.
No, my buddy. I had a hypothetical discussion with him about the moon landing, and his argument. He kept coming. He was drilling the point home so hard about the light bulbs. They didn't make light bulbs that were that bright. You couldn't get a uniform light. It would have been too hot. It would have melted the actors. I was like, what? It's 1969. We're not 1770. Like, what are we talking about here?
We had three cavemen and a fire over there.
So I could go watch the Dodgers game at night, but I can't. Apparently, we can't film anything in the dark because the lights don't exist. Well, and then you want to talk about people like George Bush going forward from an event and speaking their mind on it. I mean, look at Buzz Aldrin, made a career out of being the astronaut. You know what I mean? Right. Numerous times has talked about weird things.
So there's a documentary on it called The Wind. But here's the other thing, right?
Yeah.
Hey, it's 1969, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have microwaves. We don't even do it. I don't even know, color TV, maybe. But, so think of where we're at in 1969. And I come up to you and go, hey, Steve, here's the deal. We're going to send you to the moon. Now, listen, you've always wanted to be an astronaut. We're going to send you to the moon. I don't know if we can ever get you back.
Right.
But we're going to send you there, bud. All right? Now, here's the thing.
Send a dog, you know.
Who raised their hand? Like, I'll do it. You know what? This is a suicide mission. Me and the old lady are having a little bit of trouble right now. If I never come back,
right.
If I end up living up there, even better.
You got to be a little crazy to be a spaceman to begin with. To strap yourself to thousands and thousands of pounds of explosives. And ride a tiny metal tube into outer space. You got to be a scientist.
By the way, we're going to send you up there in a tinfoil suit that's wrapped with a sheet.
Yeah, hopefully that protects against radiation.
And for that, too, we'll give you a fish bowl with a hose in it so that you can breathe. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't. Okay.
Stitch it together.
Yeah. Stitch it together. 5, 4. What did she say? The only theory I can't gather the energy to research is flat Earth. Has anyone heard?
Okay. I've spent so much of my time, Shayna, for no reason, on the flat Earth forums. I genuinely want to understand, and the fact of the matter is, you just can't. You can't understand it. It's that's one of those where that's like the deep conspiracies. Where that's one of those where in order to believe that the Earth is flat, you have to believe that every person on the Earth is also lying to you. That's bordering on a psychosis of some kind. Because if you've read those forums,
there's some weird,
my favorite, and as a deacon, I'm sure you can appreciate how flat Earth is in the Bible. The Bible says the Earth is flat underneath the firmament. People quote it left and right. I'm like, the firmament is just the sky. It's not like a dome. Like we're not trapped here.
It's what was that Jim Carrey movie? The Truman
Show.
Yeah,
Yep.
like that. That's what we've got. Hey, Mish. Flat Earth.
Join the global movement.
Join the global movement.
Yeah. Well, you know how they say about flat earthers around the globe. I think it's funny because flat earthers use the term globe all the time.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because it's like, listen to what you're saying.
Yeah. Help us up. Wow, there's
Whoa.
Cappuccino rolling.
Cappuccino!
He looks terrible this morning. Or he looks great. But I just, I think we're in a state of this nation that if the truth comes out about anything, whether it's 9/11.
Imagine if they said the Earth was flat. Imagine if they came out and they're like, you were right there.
Whether it's the Korean War, the Vietnam War,
JFK.
It's no longer a war, is it? It's a Vietnam conflict. Whether it's the people that we have over in the Middle East right now. That we don't have in the Middle East right now, but we do. I don't understand. I think that half of this great nation, is like, let me say, a third of this great nation goes, yeah, I knew it. The other third goes, no way. And the other third is like, I don't know. We're not even members of this nation, but we're here. I don't know. Too soon? I don't know. I don't know. Are they saying it's a simulation and therefore flat? It can't be.
No, so
can it?
The claim is that, and this is why it is that stupid. The claim is that because it looks flat, it is flat, and there's nothing that proves that it's round. And this is from people that have never been on an airplane. This is from people that have been told. But no, the belief is that there is a dome. Usually, I've heard flat Earth as a
we've got the red
religious thing, where they're saying the proof is in the Bible, where you can see the sun cross in front of the clouds at certain points, because the sun is only 1,000 miles away, fabricated in the sky. It's just a light. Same thing with the moon. Yeah, and then they're on a rotating pattern above our dome.
Well,
and beyond the ice wall is apparently a futuristic society where all the world's greatest scientists live.
Shada says, I've been adjusting to clown world as best I can. Seek first to understand, absolutely. And hey, yeah, you're right. Don's loving him some peanut butter this morning. Well, and I've done this, right? You've been on road trips. Drew's been on road trips. We've all been on road trips, and one of the fanciest games when I was a kid was pole position, right? And basically, pole position was what? Have you ever played?
No.
So pole position was a race car game, arcade game.
Okay.
And basically, it came down from the top, and you had to move your little car. But we also had the ones that were battery operated and it would roll.
That's right.
The road would roll in front of you. And as I've been with this flat Earth stuff, and I like when I drove out to Louisville, I'm like, am I just in the same place? But it's like, like the road and everything's rolling to get me.
So obviously, I'm coming in at the late part of the hour, but. So we're talking flat Earth.
We're talking conspiracy theories in general, but yeah.
How many years have to pass before we can accept the truth?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But yeah, we did jump into flat earthers as is that all right. So hey, next year they come out and go it's flat. It's flat.
Every other planet in our observable solar system is a circle, but not Earth.
No,
we're the only pizza-shaped celestial body.
So that would happen, and I'd be like, it's going to take me some years to figure out that.
Well, I mean, let's look at how far back we can really go back, way back in the day. You saw an asteroid; it was a sign from a god. It wasn't an asteroid. Now we know it's an asteroid, right? So that's how many years. That's how many years, right? Fallen angel.
Yeah.
Some kind of god was speaking to you, but now it's an asteroid. So I think it's taken that long to get through that. So that's a long time. Yeah.
It's a long time.
Yeah. Where's Scott?
He's under the weather.
Oh.
I wish he was here.
When is he going to get on top of the weather? I mean, it was,
Yeah, I wish he was here. He'd absolutely have fun with this one.
This is his gig right here.
This is his wheelhouse. I know he sucks, so it's got to get better.
Yeah,
just
feel
because,
better,
just because I think you'll appreciate it. I had a conversation with a flat earther not that long ago, a couple weeks ago. Just and I don't argue with people online, so I just ask questions. I ask questions and I just let people talk in, and I'm like, oh, interesting. The girl I was talking to specifically had made the claim that where would we be if Isaac Newton had never invented gravity? As not discovered it, invented it. As though gravity wasn't here. Right. And then Isaac Newton came along and he's like, you know what we need? We need to stick to the earth. I'm going to invent something.
Everybody was flying around.
And for my brain trying to process her argument of what are we talking about? It was he invented gravity. You can't get over the ice wall now. Well, what? What are we talking about?
He didn't get over the ice.
He didn't invent gravity. He just named it.
I think it's a song.
But I had so much fun with that one.
Oh, I would have.
I asked so many questions. I was like, now when you say he invented it, what are we talking about? And like, when you say before he invented it, what did that look like to you? And she's just like, well, before he made gravity. And it was like, oh, so he made.
There's the word Blackwater.
Oh my God. So do you have a trombone? Inside joke, folks.
Let's talk about
Did you play
Harvard grad? Shayna said, were you talking to a Harvard grad?
Oh, yeah.
Did you do your live read, your video live read?
Yeah, that was right up there. And Don's like, oh, hey, Unabomber.
Yeah. Said not to send him any packages.
Yeah, nice. Please don't mail me anything. Oh, God, that's funny. But I think the truth is out there. And I think we've been told the truth in different ways, but there's so many people who want to believe what has been told.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
I mean, you tell a lie so many times that you start to believe it.
And then at that point, how do you even define the truth of anything?
Well, what is
thing.
the perception of the truth when it comes across your table? So then what is the next conspiracy sitting on top of the truth?
Right.
And what's on that truth? And on after that truth? When is it?
Well, and
when does it end?
If they come out and they tell us the truth, is that the truth?
Yeah.
Or is it that? Or are they just now saying we're going to change our rhetoric and tell you the truth? You know,
half truths.
Yeah.
So I mean, so maybe some are so deep there's just no option.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And I always think, like I said, I'm a firm believer in a deep state and that Hollywood, has leaked information.
Yeah.
Take a look at the show Scandal. You ever watch that?
Yep.
Or House of Cards. You ever watch that?
House of Cards. Yes.
Yeah.
Tell me tell me that's fiction.
Right.
It isn't 100% fiction.
Oh no!
Because in every fiction book or every fictional story, there's some element of the truth in there.
Yeah.
Right. And I think somebody was ballsy to go, well, we need a scandal.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole wag the dog
Right.
scenario, right? Did you ever see that?
Wag the dog.
Wag the dog.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Awesome movie. Where they're just making shit up.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, just don't look over here. Look over here.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think we're, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I believe that perhaps we're living in that state of wag the dog. Here in America.
Yeah, I don't, because you got to look at how. Talking about like really good shows. You ever watch Washington Spies?
No,
I've
never even heard of it.
Fantastic show.
What's it on?
It was an AMC original, so you'd have to look it up now.
AMC has some good stuff.
Maybe Amazon. No.
Okay.
But
that's our free plug for AMC.
So it was
Washington Spies.
Yeah, it was all about subterfuge and basically like the early stages of our country, there was already all these multiple layers of lies on top of lies on top of the hidden truths and everything. And it was based on loosely on.
I just want people to see that there's no twin towers.
You know, right. Do you see the arch they're building?
I think.
I tell you what, it looks good.
The arch.
I think this is like Seattle or something. It's a space needle there. That's why you don't see the twin tower.
It easily could be.
It's literally not New York.
Tell you what, though, that
Just
background
point it out.
looks solid with that.
No, the background looks great. But no, you see the U-shaped building they're building in New York?
No.
It looks like the Twin Towers, but there's a hole in the middle. So it's two sides, and it goes all the way up, and then it arches at the top. So it's technically one building.
So it's like St. Louis.
Yeah, but not like a full arch. The two sides go straight up, and then only arch at the top. So it's like just.
And then it
looks like a skyscraper just made out of two sides.
Oh, so that way a plane could fly between them.
Literally, the news article I read literally said
allegedly.
It literally said that it was a big enough gap for a plane to fly through. In the news article I read about the building, and I was like, what a weird thing to say about a building you're building in New York, a new skyscraper. Fly not big enough to fly a plane through. Like, all right.
That's nuts.
Shayna says there are a few of us that remember life before reality TV, quote unquote. I was slow to figure out it was scripted. This is the world. Fake, narcissistic, and low effort thinking makes for great satire if you can tell the difference. I agree.
If you can tell the difference, and that's
our first studio was in Johnsburg, and Luke. Let us from Sticker Dude.
Yep.
And
big shout out to Luke.
Yep. And Luke and I think it was I don't know TLC or something back in the day, back in 2018, was talking to he and his brother about a reality show, and they were entertaining the idea. But then they were showing them the scripts, and then you have to do this, and we want you guys to fight on every episode.
It's not really a reality show now, is it?
And it's not really a reality show.
Right.
And that's when I was like, wait, what? And they're like, yeah. My wife was so upset when she found out that, who is it, Magnolia people, Chip and Joanna Gaines, that the people actually have already bought the house before they film, right? And I'm like, well, honey, of course they have to get this type of a loan. Like, you can't get this type of a loan
coming from a lender,
right? You know, and she was so pissed off. She's like, well, then why do they even show us it? It's just stupid. I go, well, that's drama. That builds the drama. I said they don't go like this. Hey, we're gonna go with house on 123 Maple Street, and then they've got plans and everything. It's just like, hey, here it is.
Weirdly enough, 123 Maple Street is the House of the Dead. That's the infamous House of the Dead, where they do all the ghost hunting. 123 Maple Street.
There you go. There we do that. But you know, so but you know, it's the same thing with Survivor. It's the same thing with whatever. Right now, I'm into.
Survivor was a big one.
It's like Alone. It's on Netflix. It's like Alone. But you have to be on a team.
Okay.
It's really pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really pretty cool.
That makes sense when you say it out loud. No, Survivor was a big one for a lot of people. I watched season 1 of Survivor with my grandmother when we were into it. And then, like, later on, when that guy came forward and lost all his money because he was like, well, it was pretty much set up for me.
Right.
And then they were like, well, we're going to take away all your winnings now because you were contractually obligated not to say anything. Yeah. But, like, everyone was upset about it, but it was like,
yeah. Well, and but how many years passed before you learned the truth?
Well, I mean, here's the thing: most people don't care about the truth in that scenario. It's like telling somebody who enjoys wrestling, "Hey, you know, WWE's fake." It's like, oh my God, it's so fake. I didn't know. You've crushed my spirit. And at the end of the day, you tell somebody like Survivor is fake and scripted. What, wrestling?
Yeah, it's choreographed.
Choreographed. Yes.
Nothing.
Choreographed. But it's like you tell somebody that Survivor isn't real. They do the same thing. They're still making that show. I still know people that watch Survivor religiously. and they
It's like The Bachelor.
don't
The
care at all. It's like
I'm
everybody who watched every season of Big Brother or The Real World.
The Bachelor and The Bachelorette are designed by a Gen Xer, and all it is a middle school dance. Hey, I'm gonna go make out with 6 girls.
Yeah.
See which one I want to date.
Mm-hmm.
Bachelorette. I'm gonna go make out with 6 guys all on the same night.
I always thought those shows were hysterical because of that.
Right.
It's like I'm gonna go on a date with 7 guys at once. Cool. Try that out at a bar. Like,
I talked to her.
I don't know.
I talked to her for 15 minutes. We kissed once in front of camera, and I've got to say, I think I'm falling in love.
Yeah.
This is real.
My favorite.
This is
my favorite is the Bachelorette. They made a funny little clip with the guy from Funny or Die, and she's like, "I feel like you only came for the zip line." And it's just him using the zip line into the pool over and over. And she's like, "You haven't spent any time with me. All you've done is go on the zip line every day, all day." And it's just, he's like shoving other guys out of the way. And
Cannonball!
And he's like, "No, I really want to stay because I'm in love with you. It has nothing to do with the zip line." He goes right back on the zip line.
These guys are paying me. I'm having the time of my life to zip line.
That's why I thought it was so funny.
It took me a while to accept the truth that Gilligan's Island wasn't an island.
That's sad. You mean they filmed it on land?
Yeah,
like, on the mainland.
It was.
Now I feel lied to.
Were you planning like a saving trip to go save them?
Yeah.
I mean,
it would be a great destination right now, wouldn't it? A nice little destination. Yeah. That would be a great.
Well, at least on some of the shows today, like Alone, it's not like in their backyard. You know what I mean? But it looks like the jungle.
The other thing too is like go back and watch the 70s, in the 60s and 70s shows, and the lighting is just horrible. You see like the producers walking, you see shadows.
Oh yeah,
and you're like, how did I miss that?
Right. You don't pay attention to that when you're right. Back then it was just easy.
Something that they don't do in movies anymore that they used to, the footstep sounds.
Yeah.
They never matched up, but they used to put them on there when people were walking around. You'd be like, wow, that's weird. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah. That's funny. Have somebody here with a shoe.
It's gonna be one of our new shows, like the old radio, the Shadow.
The Shadow.
You got the big saw for thunder.
But there's a lot, I think, and that's why I think a lot of people also say this is a simulation, because the deep state is, there's a lot of directions and things out there that make us go, huh. And then somebody's like, wait, that doesn't, I mean, scientists, this is what they do. Scientists create conspiracies or theories, right? And then they try to disprove them and prove them.
Yeah.
But if you do that with something that is happening in the world, a war, an assassination, moon landing.
Just going to talk about the moon landing. Did you guys talk about that already?
A little bit.
Because I know at Man Camp we were talking. Steve and I were getting deep into that. It had nothing to do with what we were on. I think what did you guys? What are your thoughts to that? Was it real? Was it fake? Is too much? Here's
where Kent stands on that.
All right.
I will say that we allegedly were the first people on the moon, with as how do I want to say it? As narcissistic as Americans are, we would have 3 hotels and a city up there.
Okay.
If in 1969, 55 years ago, we actually were. This is Kent's.
Sure.
This is Kent's own opinion. Because listen, we jump into other people's countries because of monetary. Never mind. Anyway, what I'm saying is we as a country do things because of our narcissistic
tendencies,
tendencies, that if indeed we had landed on that planet, we would, I mean, you're telling me Hilton wouldn't be up there? That we wouldn't have some sort of vacation oasis up there.
Well, the one thing I do know is that could all be there because the government doesn't tell us shit. And we got up there. What's all right? Everybody keep it to yourselves. Well, public needs to know what they need to know.
Well,
controlled.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Is it real?
My thoughts are that my personal thoughts don't matter because history will show that we were in the moon in 1969. We went to the moon. We put people there, and we brought them back home. And then we sent them around the country to talk at grade schools for the rest of their natural lives, telling the story about how they landed on the moon and they were the first people on the moon. That won't change if I sit here and say it's very unlikely that the technology existed to not only get us there, but specifically to get us back from the moon. If I say that there's a lot that doesn't seem right about it, at the end of the day, just like Kent said, that's history. It's in the history books.
Sure, it's there.
So whether we did or not, we bragged about it. We made enough of a stink about it that the rest of the world accepted that it was true. Okay, so 33 other countries have certified, yes, the United States went to the moon. Well, so they've said it. They believe it enough. Sure.
And I get what you're saying. Your opinion, well, it's not going to change it. I get that, but we're going to fast forward. Let's talk about the pirate, or is he not a pirate? Christopher Columbus now is kind of known as a pirate, and people are now debating about that being in history books and what they. So through time, I think once again it goes through the time, right? How long does it have to go? I don't know. I don't know if we were on the moon or not on the moon. I agree with Kent. And I also think that, if that's the case, that's probably there. Just due to the fact of if we had the technology to go to the moon and yet launched that little pod off the moon to come back to Earth, right? Because back then it was,
Because wouldn't the International Space Station be on the moon at this point?
You would think so.
You wouldn't think it would just be up
or some sort of
look over here, but not over here. Once again, it's one of those things. What could be on the moon? We got a space station. Nobody pay attention to what's on the moon.
But then again,
who knows?
You're absolutely right, though. If we did get there once, and we haven't been back, we have no interest in it. Could be entirely because it was you got a bunch of decades after 1969, right? You had the 70s and 80s. There's a lot of cocaine happening. It's entirely possible somebody's like, hey, let's put a military base up on the moon. Yeah, not tell anybody about it.
Well, that sounds fantastic. It sounds like America. A little bit.
Yeah, right. But again, the logistics of having a military base on the moon. I doubt we have one. I doubt there's anything up there on the moon.
Sure.
I think your point is 100% on right on the head. There is we would have some sort of international complex up there on the moon. You would think the space station. It's just some sort of. I mean, we can get along with every other country to send people to space, but not to the moon.
Right. That's why. I would take a look at the rover on Mars. Allegedly, we have something up there spanning around Mars, the red planet. And here's the deal: the bottom line is it looks a lot like Greenland.
Okay.
Certain parts of Greenland.
Okay.
Just
fair enough.
Just laying that out there.
Right.
That's all.
Or whatever AI technology there is today.
Right.
That could be in, Joshua's basement during a D&D game. You know what I mean? That's where we're sitting today.
Or Jimmy's.
Right.
During the National Dart Tournament. All right. Shana says, our military created a whole fake set with tanks and such to successfully fool the enemy. Some go their whole life thinking they didn't even have evidence. But they wouldn't do that.
No, of course
No.
Are you kidding me?
The government wouldn't lie to you.
Best interest is in mind. That's all.
Yeah. No, the government wouldn't lie to you.
No.
We also will celebrate people throwing tea into a bay because we're overtaxed. Does anybody have any tea? By the way, literally, I'm like, holy balls. Okay, that worked great.
Well, when religions were changing in the world to for the love of God and Christ Himself, Vatican Church had what was called Vatican Nights, and they went around, and if you didn't believe, well, it didn't matter if you were a woman or a child. They just lined you up in front of a big hole, executed you, and then filled the hole in and went to the next town to do the same thing. Right?
Yeah.
Did that really happen? I don't know. But it's a cool story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That's right. That's right in there. But, but people want to believe different to that.
Well, right? the problem with conspiracy theories in general is that if you don't know what is true and what's not true, or what to believe out of a history book and what not to believe out of a history book, if you don't know what information that you can absorb and believe in, it kind of creates this rogue mentality where you're just out there
chasing tail. You just start spiraling, right? And you fall into that rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
So, Steve? What does it take for you to be like, this source of information is correct? And here are the facts. What I love about you is you're like, listen, unless I have the facts, I can't give you actual answers, and that's what I love about you. Because you can't argue with logic or facts,
right?
Well, you can, but you always lose. So how do you know that the facts or the information that you're getting, the intel you're getting, is coming from a reliable source that is 100% factual?
So
it comes from the government.
It's
right
easy.
It's
some information.
He almost spit all over the soundboard.
Some information is really easy to verify. Other things are not. And then enough evidence exists in both directions for things like the moon landing that I could sit there for literal days absorbing all the information available to me about, from people that say, yes, we did go to the moon, here's exactly why, and people who are educated on the topic that said, no, we didn't go to the moon. Same thing with 9/11 or anything else. There's this weird dichotomy of information, and it's split pretty substantially. There's enough out there that you can't possibly sift through everything that there is, right?
Yeah.
So you just got to do your best. And then at some point, you do have to back up and be like, I genuinely don't know. This is what I believe. Here's why I believe it, but I don't know. Like, I would never come out here and be like, for sure, 9/11 was an inside job, and for sure we were never on the moon, and for sure there was a different shooter at a different angle for JFK. Like, I don't know any of these things for sure.
Right.
If I start saying like I know things that happened for sure when I wasn't there, it starts sounding like these Holocaust deniers.
You start forming your opinions by the best resources you could possibly obtain, and say, well, this makes a lot of sense, or it just doesn't. It's too fantasy.
And again, not everything is that complex. Not every situation is that complex. A lot of information is super easily verifiable. Just there are things where people might have huge differences of opinion based off of the evidence present, and then you have to make your best guess.
So, do you think that Area 51 for years has been holding spacecrafts and aliens?
No, I think that's the I think that's the backdrop of the moon landing. We can't let people in there because they'll be like, "Hey,
I remember that.
Across the moon.
There's the flag.
Yeah,
it's blowing in the wind."
Right?
Because they actually showed that on the.
I'm just saying. Right, but then again, they're out in that area too. We did test some bombs. And so perhaps
out in the
there's a lot of missing teeth out there.
What does Shayna say there? We already see how AI is influencing. If you aren't on an uncensored platform, you get a fake sense of understanding. Have you been able to tell when interacting with a chatbot? Not easy lately. And I said that in my most third grade reading voice. I apologize. Shayna's much smarter than the way I just read that.
we need AI just to read that.
No disrespect there. I was looking through a bad line in my glasses, so I apologize.
That's what
I was trying to focus that in. No, it is. It's very tough.
Yeah,
it's not tough. Hello anymore.
Right.
Hello, my name is
the calls,
Sandy, and I am calling.
The calls are easy.
Right.
The calls they're getting better.
They're getting better.
But the calls are easy.
I was talking to a very real person yesterday who told me there's single moms in my area looking to hook up. It definitely was a real conversation, not a chatbot.
So how did that go?
Went really well. Went really, really well.
Oh, nice. Sorry, Sam.
No, I'm a stepdad.
Right. It's like. But here's the conspiracies, right? Is let's go back to Tuesday.
Okay.
And the vice president of the United States, who has we're the best country in the world. I put this out there. I'm like, people are like, oh, she had listening earrings.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, so let me understand.
Listening earring.
Yeah. I'm like, let me understand this. The vice president of the greatest nation in the world with the best technology decides to, hey, you know what? We're going to put you out on stage with a $16 pair from Temu.
Right.
And then everybody can see that you're cheating.
These those pearl Timu earrings.
Right. And I'm like,
she's got the big horn.
yeah.
Huh?
I'm like, are you look? If they want, they're going to implant a cochlear device. They're not going to give you something that you can see, right? I mean, this is our government,
right? They're going to put it inside.
Yeah.
It'll be
It's bionic man type shit.
Yeah,
right. You know what I mean?
I'm just sitting here like, that's the best you got.
I love that because no matter what side you're on, the debate is always fascinating, and I think it's always funny, like how people come out of the debate and talk about how the debate went. My favorite is the ear thing. Because Trump had come out and he had said something along the lines of like, well, I think she had that in because she was real familiar with the questions, and I laughed so hard when he said that. Which was like, dude, you should have probably done a little bit more studying for these questions. They asked the same questions.
He's like, we could have studied for this.
They asked the same questions at every presidential debate since the history of time, and he's like, oh, she seemed really familiar. It was like, well, yeah, I mean.
She did her homework.
Yeah,
right.
Probably, when all his aides were like, he's not studying, you've been telling him to study. Maybe that was the time. But to think it's a conspiracy because
not gonna do it's gonna be great.
I mean, this is a good point too that Shane brings up. The CIA has a move that is very effective. They capture and feed a whistleblower information, let them go wild with the setup, and then debunk. Right. That might be what happened with Alex Jones. Yeah, he's silenced real fast, didn't he?
Yeah, you don't hear
no relation.
Well, you got sued for over $1.3 billion, so I would be quiet as well.
Ken Jones' younger half brother.
Yeah, no relation. But that's a good point as well. And now
that's true.
Now you look cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Right.
And or you move someplace and now you've got a new life. Goes on.
Yeah. Well, when you're constantly talking, all of a sudden you just now it's just quiet, right? All of a sudden, what happened?
Did they mute his microphone?
Right. Yeah, by removing his tongue.
That's right. That's right.
Crazy.
And that's where all these there are people out there who will say that Sandy Hook.
Oh yeah.
There wasn't even a middle school called Sandy Hook, and you're just like, right?
Yeah.
But I find it fascinating, much like a scientist. I love, like you, Steve. You give me somebody who's a flat earther, and I can carry on a great conversation because I'll just look and be curious and go, wait a minute, not try to debunk them.
Yeah.
Right. But in other words, my philosophy is when that happens, they'll talk sense into themselves.
Yeah.
They'll talk.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Eventually, you'll talk to yourself. It was like you guys watch the Flat Earth documentary. They set out to make the worldwide Flat Earth documentary, and they set out with a series of experiments. And in the first 3 experiments, they proved the Earth was round. And they had to stop their documentary. It's a known thing. You can watch these experiments that they performed where they're like, we're going to prove the Earth is flat. And they proved it was round. And they're like, well, fuck. What do we do now?
It's flat like a pancake, but round like a pizza. Right.
See now I love that as well. But a lot of times with conspiracy theorizers, I also ask, what are we trying to gain?
Yeah, what are we
to say that the
accomplish?
Earth is round?
Yeah,
right. If it indeed is flat, what are we trying to gain?
Well, yeah, who's benefiting? Right? Who's benefiting?
Right now, covering up an assassination.
Yeah,
covering up an assassination attempt.
Sure.
Just nipping an ear. I'm just saying that perhaps I understand what's to gain.
Sure.
But you can understand motive, yeah.
Right?
The guy who made like 5 million flat Earth keychains or round Earth keychains is like, no, I got it. We got to sell this.
This is round.
Right.
So that guy published.
It's better in your pocket.
Right.
Earth is round.
Right. It is round.
That guy published an anti-NASA pamphlet in 1977 that really got everybody. Flat Earth has been a thing that's been around since the beginning of time. Since the beginning of time. when they said the Earth was round, a lot of people were like, "No, it's not. You guys are crazy. Like we live on a flat planet," and that just never went away. But in '77, this guy disseminated pamphlets basically calling out spending of the spending habits of NASA, and where is all this money going in X, Y, Z, and put out this whole flat Earth thing. And it's just really taken off. I would love to know if that guy died a millionaire or if he's even dead. I would assume so.
Well, yeah, very possible at this time.
Yeah.
So I mean, should we do a part 2 and have Scott here for this, because he would love this?
Well, I mean, Woody, I mean,
like, have you even tapped into Birds Aren't Real?
I don't. I mean, Scott is perhaps an anarchist, right? Is that a good way to put it? He'll push against the United States government. Now, some of these things, I don't know if that's his jam. You know?
Oh, okay.
I mean? It's like, I don't know, and I don't care if somebody might be. I don't know his stance, right?
Yeah.
Well, he believes a couple of conspiracies.
Yeah. He's in a couple of them.
Yeah,
that's why I asked.
Because when we brought this up, he immediately jumped in. He goes, "Well, I think the government did X, Y, Z." I'll let him speak for himself on that one.
Yeah,
he comes in, but I mean, he immediately jumped in and I was like, I agree.
So I mean, there's so much more to tap into. Like, birds aren't real. I know you're not a bird guy, there, Kent, but there is a belief that birds are not real.
Reagan comes out once a year and changes the batteries.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
He invented the birds.
There's so much weird stuff, right? That can constantly go
on. Shannon says, I would love a conversation with anyone who thinks that Judgment Award doesn't point to something odd. Did I read that?
Yeah.
It's so damaging to have AI curated info fed and hidden on a censored site. It's easy to think you are a great boxer if you're fighting someone with their arms tied behind them. Hey, leave my boxing career out of this. Sorry, I missed some of this. Work got in the way. Hope everyone has
damn work.
Yeah,
hey, it's
good to see that
allegedly work got in the way.
Good to see you popped in though.
Don's like, I haven't had enough to drink yet this morning to get into this conversation.
Right. There's not enough
coffee. It's like, I live in Texas. You can't be saying things about JFK assassination down here.
That's it. But yeah, what is it time to go? I don't even know what time.
It's 8:32.
Got a couple minutes. Yeah. Great stuff happening all the time here. Good shout out to everybody who's joined us this morning. But let's just leave you with this.
Hey, this is Jones. From the grounds of Giles, Jones, and Slagle. Catch us every Friday morning. Thanks to the support of our good friends over at Natural Therapy Wellness Center. Check them out at www.massage.com. And our good friends over at JH Events and Flowers. $5 bundles on Friday are kicking. When you got nothing else to do, to the ground.